At Alma High School, joined by the Pepin-Alma Eagles coach, Lauren Miller. Lauren, thanks for joining us in high school headquarters.
Thank you.
I want to start talking a lot about the co-op. I find that to be kind of an interesting situation,
Okay.
and it's been a very successful season for you. Going back, can you tell me kind of what went into the decision and when you were told about what was going to happen?
Well, we both schools were looking at numbers issues, and it actually originally started with the girls programs, where Pepin's girls numbers were very low and they weren't able to have a JV, and so the talk got started with that, and then I made the our superintendent and principal aware of just where our numbers were going to be, and they were going to be anywhere from 12 to 15 boys, and with a lot of seniors and juniors in that, and so we were looking at possibly not having a JV. And Pepin was in a similar situation numbers-wise, and so you know, the administration and school boards looked at it and decided to. So last spring we were informed that we would go ahead with the co-op.
So how have things gone, looking back from that point when you first found out to today?
They've gone real well. Kids are wonderful on both sides, and we've had great fan support. And the Coach Rowe from Pepin has been a pleasure to work with, and I also have a very nice C-team coach in Tom Brocky. So that transition's been smooth, and like I said, the players have been wonderful, and it just generates some good competition among the players is good, and allowing our players to play at levels where, you know, their skill levels are appropriate, like C-team, JV, or varsity, rather than having to be forced into a varsity situation before you're ready.
So what kind of challenges has your team faced that maybe other teams in the conference or the area haven't faced with this co-op situation?
We have some travel for practice to back and forth, but you know, other than keeping the schedule straight, that really hasn't been a problem. It's a 15 to 20 minute bus trip, and between here and Pepin, and the roads are good. Actually, it's worked out nice. There's been no sharing gyms or no early late practices or anything like that, and you always sometimes have two gyms to work with, and oftentimes have most schools have two gyms, and you always have a full gym rather than the curtain down the middle and splitting a gym. So in that regard, it's been very good. And
I understand that Pepin and Alma used to be rivals. Now
right.
Playing together, has that been trouble? Has that been any issues at all?
Not that I'm aware of, and really we're not in the same conference, so we didn't always play each other, sometimes in a non-conference game. But it's always been a pretty positive, friendly rivalry going back, you know, 30, 40 years.
And how have the players handled this? And I'm sure that you don't see everything being a coach, but from what you've seen, how do you think your players have handled the situation?
I've seen them getting along real well. They seem to do stuff socially together now as well. They may go watch the girls' games together, or to a school dance. They're invited to each other's school's dances, and they may go scout a team. You know, if we're off on a night, a few of them may load up and go watch. And as far in that regard, very, very good crew of guys to work with.
Have you changed the way you've coached at all? Has the system changed, or players over there coming from a different system? How is that kind of all
That
meshed
was
together?
fortunate. We both ran we both ran a swing offense against a man, against the man defense, and so that transition went smoother than I could have hoped for. Zone offense didn't take very long to work out either. We did that a little bit this summer. We're allowed 5 contact days. I think we had 3 or 4 practices this summer just to get to know each other, and so that hasn't been much of an issue at all.
We're getting into late February here. What's left on the schedule? How do you see things shaking out here the last couple games?
Well, we have a tough game tonight against a big rival, Cochran Fountain City, and a win tonight would give us a tie with them for conference record, and we would own the tiebreaker. So what would be for the small Dairyland title. Then we would have a tough game on Saturday. We match up with the large Dairyland, and we'll match up with either Whitehall or Blair Taylor, 2 very powerful Division III teams. And So we'll worry about that after tonight and hopefully get a good plan going into those games. Then in the first round of the tournament, we were fortunate enough to get a number 2 seed in our regional. So we get home games, the first 2 games, as long as we're in the tournament. And we play Plum City, an old Pepin rivalry. And we play Plum City in the first round here in Alma a week from tonight.
Well, great. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.